Welcome, everybody, to day 3 of Pragmatic Psychology Exposed, is what we'll call it today. Who doesn't like a little exposure? Oh,
Hence our outfits today.
I know.
We're wearing red. We talked about it all day since yesterday. We're like, what color are we gonna wear?
Exactly. What shade of red? Exactly. So raise your hand out there in the comments if you're wearing red today too. We would like to know. Maybe you got the memo as well. So I am super excited about the title. The way this has been working is Susanna gets an awareness of what she'd like to talk about, and then she sends me a title, and then she's like, or this, because she's willing to have it go however. And so the one that I chose out of the ones that she gave me to choose from is How Do I Be Me When Others Won't Let Me? Which is so funny. So tell me where that came from today.
Oh my God, this is so funny. How do I be me when others don't let me? It's like, how many times you guys out there have had this, I'm totally ready to be me. I can be me when I'm all by myself. I can be me when I go horseback riding, when I'm in the woods, when I watch a movie. But then as soon as I open the door, walk outside, or as soon as I have somebody call me, or as soon as I'm in the presence of another person, something with two legs, woo, woo, woo. Spin off. We're like, but, I can't, they don't let me, their points of view, their judgments, their projections of what I should be, they don't let me. So it's like, how many times do you guys have the point of view that you don't have choice, and you definitely don't have the choice to be you when you're surrounded by other people?
It's a huge, like, I love that you just even look at that as choice, because I think a lot of us, like, well, not probably all of us, unless you were raised on, a hill somewhere in the middle of nowhere, where the world tells you what you can be, like all the rules that are set by your parents, and then the rules that are set by, like, if you went to church, the rules that are set by school. Here are all the things you can be. Here's what's right. Here's what's wrong. And then within that, try to make a choice. And so then we grow up and we're adults and we're like, but I don't have a choice. And how much of that is just like the implanted point of view that you got to follow the rules? So can you talk a little bit about how you started to break the algorithm of that? Like, what's your story with choice, Susanna, and being you?
So how did I break the algorithm? Before I broke that algorithm, I didn't even know that I wasn't being me. It didn't even occur to me that that wasn't being me, because maybe as a child, you're like, oh yeah, I'm, playing and everything that. But then, there's this time when most people, and for me, it was when I started to go to school. And that's actually occurring for most people, where school is this infiltration station of points of view you're supposed to have. It doesn't have to be that way, but it is for very many people. And for me, it was that way. And also growing up, I'm like, I was so aware of what other people need from me, and delivering that I didn't learn to ask, what do I desire, or what is being me? Like, that wasn't on the education schedule. But I noticed this later. I already worked as a psychologist. I had, a house, a boyfriend, like this whole, like, everything was so exactly the way, picture perfect. And I remember I was sitting in the kitchen of this perfect house with this perfect career with this perfect man, and I watched my neighbors, and I'm like, wow, they're part of this. They're also in this picture perfect thing. Why? How can, like, they're so happy? Why can't I be happy? Like, I have everything. I have everything you're supposed to have. Why am I not happy? And I'm like, I knew in my world, I don't want to have it that way anymore. And I didn't know what I had to change. I didn't even know what was going on. I just knew, okay, these people out there are so happy. How do they do this? Like, we have a similar life. Why? What's wrong with me? That's not a question, you know, but I thought it was a question back then. And then I'm like, okay, something has to change. And I realized by that, just, you know, by there's something that has to change by that demand. I realized, oh, wow, wait a second. For whom am I having this house? For whom am I having this career? For whom am I having this relationship? For me or for the people around me, for my family who wanted me to have that, because then I'm successful and they're successful because I have all that. And I'm like, wow, so I'm living a lot of my life back then for other people. And I hadn't noticed this for a very long time because I called it my life. And because I called it my life, I'm like, okay, this is me. This is my personality. This is my box. This is my life. This is, you know, and then it somehow there was a different awareness occurring. I'm like, wait a second, that's not my life. That's other people's lives. That's the life they want me to have. And that was the first time when I really, really asked, okay, so what would I like to have as my future? And I know that most people have no clarity whatsoever of what they like, but they have super much clarity on what other people want from them. And so this is where I explored, what is being me, you know? What is being me? Like, what does it mean to be me? And there's, you know, there's all these things out there who is like, okay, find you. And I'm like, okay, you know, you can look under a stone, you can look under a rock, you can go, you know, like finding you. It's not like being you is not an Easter egg hunt. It's not like, okay, it's getting hotter. It's getting hotter. I'm being more me, you know, maybe a little bit, but in a different way. But it's like, it's not about finding you. But there's so many things out there telling you, you know, once you do this, you will find you. Good luck, you know, like anybody has ever found themselves and then, you know, they're there and it's all, you know, perfect. No, it's not the way it works. So, but I learned that it's about creating me in every moment. And the only thing I learned I have to go after when I know I'm being me is that there's a sense of lightness, there's a sense of space, there's an ease, there's a joy. I know I have possibilities. I know I have choices. I know that even if someone tells me you can do this or that, I know, okay, yes, that's two choices, but what else is possible? I know there are other choices I can make beyond that. And that's what I started to explore. And I'm still exploring, you know, this is not a thing that's ending. You're muted.
Oops. Okay. My dog was barking, so I had muted. I love the part about like being you is not an Easter egg hunt, as if you're going to like, you have to go seek something in order to find you. Like you're not here right now. And I love how Dane talks about like, you're already all of you. You just have it covered up with all of your judgments and limitations and points of view. Like you're here, you're all of you already. You just have to start being all of you. And so when I'm looking at that for like, you know, viewers who are just meeting you, just meeting being you tools, just meeting access, or even those of us who've been around for a really long time, we would just love to hear your perspective. When things aren't light, when you know you're not being you, when like things start to feel like they cave in, what does Susanna do? What do you choose in those moments to open up the space so that you can look at the multiple choices or the infinite possibilities rather than the A and the B that this reality would like you to choose from?
Yeah. So I can start with telling you what I'm not doing that I'm supposed to do. So what you're supposed to do is think about it. And like when other people, like when you have this, yay, you know, and then you meet someone and you cave down and you have this, you know, but I can't be me now when I have this person around me. I can't be me now when I have my mom around me or when she calls or when they want something from me again and again. Like, I can't, you know, it's like one thing you're supposed to do is think about that situation and go, why can't I be me, and analyze it and go all dramatic. And we said a couple of times here, don't be dramatic, be pragmatic. So do what works. What works is don't think about it. Don't go into it. It doesn't mean anything. It's not something that is it shouldn't be a trigger where you start judging you. Oh, I should be light. I did all these classes. I did therapy, or did, a lot of search for myself, and I still can't be happy. I still can't be happy when my mother calls, or I still can't be me when my family is around me. It's like this thing, being pragmatic is not about being perfect. It's not about you have to be happy and light all the time. Oh my goodness. No. It's like, even when you have difficulties being you around a certain person or certain people, mostly for most people, it's family. It is what it is. Just know it is challenging to be you around family or around certain people, because there's certain people who are really good at triggering us, and they know exactly what to say to get us into their box of reality again. So don't worry about not getting it right. Don't analyze it. Don't make it significant. Just go, okay, I did it again. I caved down in the presence of this person. Oh, well, that was fun. And the cool thing is, what if that exact situation can be a contribution and a gift to you? Like, take like one moment where you had a person that didn't let you be you, that, triggered this, contraction in your world. And just for that very situation, ask, what gift is this to me now? What contribution is this to me now? How much awareness, free awareness, you didn't even have to pay dollars or euros for it. How much free awareness did I get from that I can choose now and learn from now, and that can be the platform for something new? It's like, I usually say every shit is a fertilizer for something greater. Like, any shitty situation can be a fertilizer for something greater. Like, it can show you so much of, okay, I did this now, but hey, wow, what can I take away from that? What choice can I make now? Like, for example, you could go, okay, thank you for that. Thank me for that choice that I caved down. I'm not going to do this anymore to myself. I'm going to make a demand on myself to be me no matter what. Even if I cave down 100 more times, I know I'm on my way to being me whenever and wherever, whoever is around me. And again, it's not about getting it perfect, but it's also, one of the things I like to do is, as I said, don't think about it. Insanity and judgment is nothing you can think about. It's something you can ignore, and ignoring, it's not the same as avoiding or, putting it away somewhere. It's being aware of the insanity, but not making a thing out of it. Just going, okay, this is insane. And do I want to feed the insanity and put my attention on that? Or do I want to put my attention on the ease and the possibilities? What space, what possibilities is there beyond this insanity? So, like, really don't think about it. Just use it as a fertilizer for something greater. Use it as a platform for something different you can choose in the future.
Thank you. I love analogies so much. So when you paint the picture with words, I'm like, thank you. That makes so much sense. And so pragmatic. One of the things that is popping for me to like kind of throw out here is the awareness that we teach people how to treat us. So a lot of us, with that point of view, and I'm just going to pull the Band-Aid off, like, how do I be me when others won't let me? Like, you've created the not letting me by your choices to not be you. Like, in whatever moment, even if it was like the first nanosecond you met someone, you made yourself small, they took the upper hand and they've just maintained it. But if you never, look at your choice to be small, then you can maintain the point of view that you're the victim to their greatness or whatever you've decided they are that you aren't. So when we start, what I know is when I started to, my experience, like to really show up as me, regardless of who was around, it was like unlearning for them. Like, I had to teach them how to treat me now that was different, or receive me even might be a better word, in a different way. And some fell away, some got overjoyed. Like my older brother was like, Dane was like, oh my God. He's like, finally, here you are. I've been waiting for this, like super excited. And he was one of the people that I was like shrink around. And I'm like, full disclosure and vulnerability, I still do it sometimes. I'm like, oh, he's so amazing and so great. That must mean I shouldn't be. Anyway, so it's not always that the people that you're shrinking around actually want you to be small. You just think that or decide that or have some point of view about it. So can you talk about that process of being aware of how you're rocking people's worlds or how you're ruffling their feathers, and that there's this new training process going on as you're stepping into more? Because I think that's a really cool thing to be aware of in those times when you're starting to use these tools.
So I would say don't avoid the fireworks. So when you're going for, okay, so what else can I allow myself to be? What greatness, what joy, basically the things you might have judged in the past. Oh, maybe if I'm choosing to be that, I might be too much. I might be too loud. I might be too silent. I might be too peaceful. Like if you go for more of allowing yourself to be whatever is fun for you to be in that moment, you might rock the boat and you might set up some fireworks. So don't avoid the fireworks. Allow them, and enjoy them, because the fireworks, whatever reaction is coming towards you when you turn yourself up, what if this is a compliment? What if this is an acknowledgement? Wow, I am going beyond the box of other people's realities. My world is expanding. My life is growing. I'm being more. I'm actually being seen. And what if this is something you could celebrate and go, okay, wow, if this is possible, what else? How much more can I turn myself up? And especially in the face of judgment. In the face of, and I learned this from Gary Douglas, like in the face of judgment, turn yourself up. And not from force, but just from the joy of it. So every judgment is actually a compliment that you're going beyond other people's books and their realities. And yeah, it's really enjoying it. And I've seen this so many times. Like in the past, there were several situations in my life when I chose to be more and to not hide that, but show up. And especially with pragmatic psychology and every creation and the books I wrote. And, like the first book I wrote, that was, it was called, like, it's called Pragmatic Psychology, Practical Tools for Being Crazy Happy. And I wrote this while I was working in psychiatry, and I just made notes. And then Gary was asking, are you writing a book? I'm like, maybe this is a book, And so I wrote it, it was done, and nobody had read it. I didn't even show it to Gary or anyone. I just, got it to the publisher, and it was proofread and everything. And the proofreader didn't, they didn't give any feedback or anything. They just corrected the grammar and the spelling mistakes. And then I'm like, this book is really like from total vulnerability of how else can we approach creating our lives? How else, what capacities are hiding behind incapacities? And at the time I was working in psychiatry and met a lot of people with different diagnoses. So I wrote a lot about the capacities behind the diagnosis and how else we can create change. And actually I just wrote it for me because it was fun to just, make notes and everything and put them together. And then putting it out there was like, wow, now everybody can see it. Now everybody can read it. And I remember I was literally going, okay, I don't want to know from anybody who read it. I don't want to read any of the feedbacks, because I'm sure like this is, I was so like sure that this wouldn't land in a good way. But and at the same time, I knew I had to get it out there. I knew that this is something I had to do, but I also was like, okay, I'm ready for the shitstorm. And it didn't come. People were so grateful and still are. And it's like just incredible. But there were other situations when I went, okay, so this was one step of allowing this to get out there no matter what other people think, being willing to be judged, being willing to receive judgments, but not making the judgments relevant, and more important than knowing what this would create in the world. So, so that was that. But then I asked afterwards, so what else? What else is possible? How much more like is possible to get out there and inspire the world to a totally different perspective? And so there were times when people would judge me, and they would like go to different social media platforms or media and would, you know, shitstorm. And what I learned is the first reaction was, oh my God, this is horrible. Like my life is over, my career is over. And I looked at it and went, wait a second, what gift can this be to me? What contribution can this be? There was even a situation with Swedish television where they, you know, made a documentary about Gary and me, and they interviewed us. And, you know, I answered their questions, and I thought, you know, I was very new and very, how do you say, naive with TV. I thought if what I say is something they will broadcast, but that's not what they did. They twisted it, and they made this very weird documentary out of it. And it was sent on national television in Sweden on prime time. And it was not at all what we said. They put it in a really weird way. And I'm like, okay. And we both said, we're ready for shitstorm. You know, what gift can this be to us? And the first reaction was, oh my God, how horrible on TV. But then we went, okay, what gift is this to us? What's possible beyond it? And what occurred was I got a lot of messages, and I was ready for them to be horrible messages. But all of them were, thank you so much. This reporter is obviously an idiot. Thank you for being different. Thank you what you're putting out there. Tell me more about pragmatic psychology. One person said, you're so stupid, you should die. I'm like, yeah, whatever, you know. Okay, there are insane people out there, who cares? And then a lot of marriage proposals. So I wrote back to the reporter, thank you so much. You saved me thousands of, you know, euros in PR, and greetings from my mother. She's grateful for the wedding proposals. You know, she's getting her hopes up. And so it was so funny. And then the reporter was actually fired, and the show was canceled. It was never to be seen on Swedish television. So, and that's something I know occurred from our choice to, okay, bring it on, judgments, you know, like I'm not gonna cave down for judgments anymore. Like, why would they be relevant? I have, you know, I have these awesome tools. I have this amazing piece of work, pragmatic psychology, and so much more beyond it. This needs to get out there. There's so many people who think they're wrong, who are thirsting for inspiring to be strong. Why would I make judgments more relevant than the inspiration I can be? And this is where my world changed again. And so this is the choice all of us have, to go, what am I making more relevant? Other people's judgments, and them, you know, quote unquote, not letting us be the greatness we are, or going, you know, thank you for your judgments. Thank you for your compliment. I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to thrive more than you can control. And this is the choice we have, especially in times like these, to say, yeah, you want to control us? Okay, cool. Thank you for the information. What else is possible that we don't know is possible yet, but we can choose it?
I love just listening to you. So the thing that's popping like along with that thread, and I'd love for you to expand a little bit in this other direction, is where does allowance play in the picture when you're receiving judgment?
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, there's like, receive the judgment, let it flow through you. You know, we've heard this in Access. You know, for every judgment you receive, you make more money, like all of these things. And what I know is that there's this piece over here that's like being an allowance of whatever someone's point of view is, of you or anything else. So can you talk a little bit about that for me, if only?
Yay. So allowance is truly an art. Allowance is where you don't agree or align or resist or react. Everything is just an interesting point of view. So, but allowance is at the same time not being a doormat and going, oh, I'm going to allow you to shit on my head. And because I am so in allowance. No, that's not allowance. And so many people think that allowance is the same as tolerating. It's not. Like tolerating, you know, there's something you have to overcome. allowance is where you're aware of someone judging you, and you go, okay, you can judge me, but I'm not going to agree or align or resist or react to your judgment. I know it's just an interesting point of view. Please, guys, don't say that to someone. Interesting point of view. You have this point of view. It's something you do for you. Just go for you. Okay, well, interesting point of view, but from vulnerability, not from interesting point of view. It's really like from vulnerability of, yeah, I know this is one view you have. That's okay. I know what I know about me. And it's truly like this allowance for you. Allowance is not just one way of, okay, I'm aware of this person's judgments, and it's really the allowance for you to go, I know I'm aware of this person's judgments of me, but I'm also in allowance of me not buying it or resisting it. I'm an allowance of me being the wonderful difference that only I can be. And this is something that most people miss, the allowance for them, the allowance to thrive and have fun when other people suffer, like allowing other people to suffer, but also allowing you to have fun and be joyful at the same time. Like that is true allowance. And we all can practice this. And one of the greatest ways to get there is the Access Consciousness tool. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. To whatever point of view comes up. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. And again, allowance is not allowing other people to stand in your way and keep you down and, box you in and stand in your way. That's not allowance. Allowance is going, okay, get out of my way. I'm going, like allowance for your choice to go and to move beyond them. Yeah.
So much juiciness. So much juiciness. When I do interviews, I see things like in pictures, and I get these like weird psychic things come in. And what keeps showing up here in this conversation with receiving judgment is this picture of my daughter who, really quick Cliff Notes story is that she was diagnosed with vitiligo. I've told this story before on certain things, but and I was so afraid that she was going to be teased about the white spots that were showing up on her face, but she really loved them. And she said, basically, Mom, I don't want to take these creams anymore. I don't want to take this medicine. I think it's really cool that I have this. And I was like, what? Like, stop it. People are going to make fun of you. Like, I was projecting all the mom points of view for sure. And I thought I was going to teach her a new makeup routine and she was going to be able to cover it her whole life. And she was like, no, this is so cool, And I was like, okay. Little later, I get a call from the teacher saying that basically that she had overheard Talia diffuse a situation with a little boy who said, what are those ugly white spots on your face? And my daughter said, oh, this is what makes me unique. Why don't you go find out what makes you unique? And it's so interesting, Susanna, because as you're talking about allowance and not having a resistance or reaction and not having to align and agree, how much like the judgment just dissipates into the world because it doesn't have anything to stick to in your world. Yeah. Like that if you aren't having a judgment of you, then when someone judges you, you're like, or as you said earlier. And so like, would that be, if someone's really looking at turning it up, being more of them, I know it's so cliche, but is that truly the place to start, is to start looking at letting go of our own judgments of us?
Definitely. Definitely letting go of our own judgments of us, and also realizing that, it's so promoted right now to us to change the world by fighting and going against, or whether it's a person or the whole situation that's right now. But it's truly it's like this softness, it's our gentleness that truly creates change. Like your daughter going, these white spots, well, they just make me unique. I mean, by that cuteness, by that gentleness, what makes you unique? Or find out what makes you unique. It's like really like everywhere you guys have been promoted to that you should fight to change the world, or we have to fight and force a different future in existence. What if you replace this by what gentleness, what space, what gentleness, what space can I be to melt all of this with ease and to invite a totally different future? That's more of who we are. And it's so much easier than what has been done in the past to change, to make revolutions or war or fight. This is so the past. There's a different way of going about it available now. And you all know it. You all know it somewhere. Yeah. So what if you acknowledge it?
What if? I love that. Thank you so much for today. And you guys here in the comments, just wanted to let you know, like if you're interested in diving in deeper with Susanna and Pragmatic Psychology, there is a practitioner class coming up that is the 17th to the 20th. I'm assuming that's also online, Susanna?
It's only online, yeah, this time.
Oh, it's only online. Okay, cool. So y'all can join regardless of any COVID craziness. Yeah. So I just wanted to point that out. If you're enjoying these lives, continue to enjoy them and continue to play in this group. We'll see you again tomorrow. But maybe just click on that link and see, what's possible for you there if there is anything. And it might not be now. It might be next time. Who knows? But thank you, my friend. I adore you. I will see you same time tomorrow. So much. And we'll see what color we wear.
Exactly.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.